Guys who have played this game at a high level, coached it at a high level, but never had a quarterback like this. That's Patrick Mahomes, winner of 8 straight playoff games, coming into this rematch with Josh Allen's screen right. There's the whole thing. 32-29, Patrick Mahomes to the Super Bowl for the 5th time.
It's just so hard to get to the Super Bowl, and I don't take it for granted. And to be able to do it again at Arrowhead was special. I mean, last year it was awesome. You get there and you win it, but you're at a different stadium. And then being able to win it at Arrowhead, and then you get that trophy on that stage, and you look around, and there's not a seat empty.
It's not fun. But to beat the champs, you gotta beat the champs, and we didn't do it tonight.
Heart breaks for him, but there can only be one. We welcome in two men who know what it's like to be on this conference championship stage. Rex Ryan, Damian Woody. All right, Rex, Buffalo comes up short yet again in this moment against this team. What do the Bills need to actually, at some point in Josh Allen's life, beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? What do they need?
I think first off, Josh Allen talked about, to beat the champs, you got to beat the champs. No, you got to knock the champs out, and you got to take it out of the judges' scorecards. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You have to knock them out. So any of this thing, because they're going to point to this call, that call, whatever. No, you got to knock them out. And unfortunately, they never did. I went in yesterday, I said they got to be up 2 scores. That's how you knock them out. And when there's just, it's just what happens. But this guy, Patrick Mahomes a hired killer. Andy Reid's a hired killer. And the game plan, Spagnuolo, hired killer. They were ready for the moment. Kincaid, not ready for the moment. You got to make this catch. Are you kidding me? You have to make the catch. But it's those little type of things, details, all that stuff matter. And if you're going to win, you got to knock them out. That's plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean, we could sit here and talk about, we need to add at this position, that position. You had enough to get there. You got there. You was going blow for blow. But at some point, like you talked about, you just got to go out there and make the play. That's what you got to do. You got to go out there, whether it's Josh Allen, whether it's his other teammates, go make the play. Because guess what? The guy on the other side, he's going to make it. He's going to make it. And Josh Allen said it perfectly in the postgame. When you're facing the champs, you got to go beat the champs. You got to go make more plays than the champs. And so for me, we're going to reflect on all the plays that controversial, quote-unquote controversial plays that didn't happen. But ultimately, at the end of the day, number 15 wearing red made more plays.
Yeah, 100%. And like I say, Steve Spagnuolo made a play. There's a coordinator right there that made a play at the end. And you know what? He said, if we're going down, no, we're going to go down, firing our gun.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's this team. They've been there and done it.
Yep.
The other team, quite honestly, 0-4, we know head-to-head, but they're 0-8 on the road in playoff games. Something has to change, and that has to be the mentality.
Yeah, and it starts with beating this team at some point, and they know they can't keep it close like they did yesterday. Last 3 playoff losses by Buffalo to KC have been by an average of 4 points, just not enough to get it done. And that's why they're going home. Thanks, guys.
View after the conference championship game weekend. There's a lot of goings on in the NFL. The hiring cycle is in full swing. Pete Carroll landed the gig. How about that? Shout out to Pete Carroll and the Las Vegas Raiders for getting that done. East-West Shrine game going on. So we got a lot to get into. So, Javante, without further ado.
Number 3.
Shedeur Sanders was at the East-West Shrine game practices down in Frisco this weekend. It was reported that the Tennessee Titans, the Cleveland Browns, and the New York Giants, the top 3 teams picking in the NFL draft, told him not to practice at the East-West Shrine Bowl this week. Sanders had meetings with all 4 teams prior by one of his former Colorado teammates. Shedeur said this: I don't know where I'm going. Both could be off the board in the top 2 picks. That would shut out teams like the Giants, the Raiders, Jets, and the Saints from being able to get one of this year's top signal callers.
Yeah, I have said before that if I was one of those top teams picking and I thought Shedeur was the answer, if I had so much conviction that he was going to be the guy to transform my franchise, that I would roll the dice, even if it wasn't a desirable situation, even if I thought his dad might not like it, I would go ahead and draft him anyway.
Is that the wrong call by Shedeur, to be willing to go to Cleveland if they draft him?
No, because that's a team that could put it together. How many times have we said that they feel like they're a quarterback away?
Yeah.
That's actually a better situation than some other places that he could end up.
Evan?
I think if he goes to Cleveland, he will be so loved and beloved that I think that it would be different than almost any other team he could go to. Now, that doesn't mean it's the right football fit. I just think that the Cleveland fan will fall in love with him within 2 seconds, and he will feel like he walks on water there because they are so desperate for the player and the person that he seemingly is.
Yeah.
And when I say the player, he's not spectacular. But guess what? Jalen Hurts is not spectacular. Jalen Hurts makes the right football plays over and over again, and that's what people say about Shedeur. That's what you need in this league. Just so happens the greatest of right now is both spectacular and makes the right plays in Mahomes. But I'm just saying, like, Jalen Hurts should be the one that everyone looks up to, and he could be like that.
So you don't think it's the wrong football decision if Shedeur were to decide to go to Cleveland if they draft him?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
I also, by the way, there's a lot of push now. Abdul Carter out of Penn State may go 1 or 2. A lot of people are starting to say that maybe he's the franchise player that the Titans were talking about.
Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear this time. It's lying season in the NFL.
Yeah, good point.
Next.
Number 2.
Palpably unfair act. Apparently, that's what it states in the rule book when the penalty doesn't deter a team from committing the same act on the following play. That's what we got early in the fourth quarter in the NFC Championship game with the Eagles on the 1-yard line. We had 4 straight second-and-goal plays before the Eagles punched in a touchdown on the brotherly shove. Earlier in the game, Washington got a stop on the tush-push by timing the snap and going over the top. Philly used the hard count on the first 3 attempts early in the fourth quarter, and the refs warned Washington that a touchdown would be awarded if they continued to jump the snap. What I don't understand is why the offense can, in effect, use the hard count, pushers for the ball carrier, and the threat of an awarded score as competitive advantages over the defense. It's already hard enough in the NFL to stop people without the refs trying to literally give points away. If you don't want the defense to jump off sides, then stop hard counting. I reject the idea of threatening the defense with awarding points to make it easier for the offense to score a touchdown. It's a ridiculous premise. The NFL has got it all wrong when it comes to this. The hard count is designed to get defenses to jump off sides. The refs and the rest of the league can't be upset when the defense jumps offside because the offense is using a hard count. It makes no sense. Yeah, we don't want to be living in a world where they go half the distance for 5 straight plays. I get it. I understand it. But the hard count is designed to make defenses jump. And Jalen Hurts is great at being able to utilize hard count. You can't be mad at the defense for jumping off sides when the opposing quarterback is using hard count. It's already hard enough to stop the tush push. It's already hard enough to stop a ball carrier when he's got guys behind him pushing him. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous for the refs to threaten the defense multiple times and saying, we're going to give them the touchdown if you keep jumping off sides. We know that they're using voice inflection to get you to jump off sides, but we're still saying you can't do it. It's stupid, Smalls. It's beyond stupid, and the NFL needs to change that in the rule book.
Yeah, I was out watching that game, and I was eating chicken wings, so I was a little distracted. And I swear, I was mid-bite, and I go, did they just say they could award